Hi, welcome back to another episode of Space or Swallow with your favorite host, Hausa Chocolate. Thank you for the likes, for the shares, for subscribing, listening, all the comments, everything, and the DMs too. Today with me, I have a very special guest. It's a special day on the podcast. Coco Pops.
Crochet. No, they want me.
The only Coco Pops in the entire. Just ask for Coco. If they say who is Coco in Nigeria, you already know that it is my dear Coco. Let me not say your full government name. I don't
Please, I
know how
beg
you
you in
want
the
to.
name of God.
Starts with H, right? So,
Wow.
do you
Wow.
want to introduce yourself to the viewers at home and the listeners?
Okay. All right. My name is Coco.
Mm-hmm,
I'm a media and communications specialist.
mm-hmm.
I like to describe myself as a writer, a lover, and a person who appreciates the value of sleep in her life.
Whoa, I thought you were going to say the value of sex, but okay. I guess
I
sleep.
mean,
Sleep
I
is good
already
too.
said lover, dear.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
Lover.
um,
Encapsulates all.
all of it. Um, sorry, I just got a text that it's just like, "Nigga, you want me to be fighting on the podcast? No, no, they messaged me. So today we're going to be dissecting one tweet that was trending on the internet. Um, and I read. Wait, let me look for it because I sent it to you. We're basically having a sexuality as a continuum episode. But this is like my case study for describing some of the nuances that can exist when it comes to sex. And science and the research shows that some people they're like, oh yeah, I'm heterosexual and I've always been and I've never changed, but generally sexuality is quite fluid. And there's research that show that they ask different people from like younger generation to like the old people at different points in their lives, what did they identify as, or what were they. I don't like that smug look. And a lot of them had like different, like some people didn't move, but most people moved at different times. And one of the when you talk about sexuality studies, a very popular scale is called the Kinsey scale. So there's a Kinsey Institute. Alfred Kingsley was a sex researcher in like the 50s, and he released two books. And in one of the books, there's this Kinsey scale. It's basically a homosexuality to heterosexuality scale. Then there's an X on the scale to denote asexuality as well. And it was shown that a lot of people move on different
Mm-hmm.
aspects of the scale according to their lives. Other research shows that some people are not as sexually elastic as others, and some are really averse, and like some are like, okay, I'm heterosexual, but the only time that I would ever, like sleep with somebody is if you lock me up on an island and I just need an outlet, and then that's when, as a man's hand should look like, palatable to me. But outside of that, please give me, pussy. And other people are like, I'll try this, I'll try that, according to, how I identify at the time. So yeah, the tweet says it's from this I am Kira babe. I'm bisexual but heteroromantic. I also identify as heteroromantic, FYI. I don't see myself romantically loving women, but with their sex, why? We shall discuss it. Meaning, I am sexually attracted to both men and women, but I'm only interested in being in a relationship with a man. Like, girl, we could bump coochies, but I'm not cuddling and watching movies with you. So, okay. And then there's some tweets that were underneath. I feel like if she tweeted only that, it might not have got as much buzz as when she was like, pussy is amazing, titties are amazing, but romantically speaking, women do nothing for me, and that's okay. Just let me eat your pussy and go home to my boyfriend. Ha ha ha. Maybe look at you. Yeah, I don't know. This laughter is laughter of guilt,
It
Coco.
is not guilt laughter.
Maybe I've been drinking and I'm telling you all too much of my business. I don't know. Everyone's open to sexual liberation and being open and honest about your sexuality until your sexuality is in alignment with what's deemed acceptable to them. So she has a point there. And then she went on and on, but this is all that we're gonna
It's all
discuss
that
right now.
matters to
Yeah.
us right now.
So, what do you feel? Thoughts?
Questions, concerns.
Yes, consents.
So first of all, personally, I don't believe in labels.
Mm-hmm.
Like right from when I was younger. So I went through a particular year in my life where I really can say I actually really started to explore my sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I really can say that I discovered about myself in that year
Mm-hmm.
is I don't believe in labels because, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it really depends on the phase you are in life. Anyone can
Mm-hmm.
be anything at any point in time. And yes, some people may be less elastic than others, but at the end of the day, when you really dig into why, you find that most of that is actually just a mental thing as
Mm-hmm.
well. You've
Rooted
conditioned
into,
yourself to
yeah.
be a certain way. I know
Mm-hmm.
people who have been like, I could never. And then they call me one day and they're like, look, let me tell you something. And for me, so that's generally speaking, I'm going to try to keep this to myself and
Yeah.
research as much as
I mean, it doesn't have
possible.
to be yourself. We're very anecdotal. You know, I always say that there's statistics out of limit us based on this is what the streets are saying and
Ah,
stuff.
okay,
Because
fair,
yeah,
fair.
so it's not just like scientific. Yeah, we bring in the scientific. You know, we bring in the personal contributions,
Mm,
and then what you heard and what you've
what
seen.
I
Because
heard.
in terms of this sex world, like
What I heard.
it's a very social thing. You know,
Fair.
what
So,
I heard, what I did. What did you do, Coco?
for me, having said that, I don't like labels. I
Mm-hmm.
am attracted to both men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at a point in my life, I have dated women, and I've
Explain
decided
dated.
dated like been in
Mm-hmm.
relationships
Like
with
they were
women.
your partners.
Yes,
Okay. Was it
and
exclusive?
at those times, okay, for one, it was. For the
Mm-hmm.
other, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then the others were just they were not like long relationships. So it was never like, okay, now it's time to define if
Yeah.
we're exclusive or not. So like short bursts.
So you were spending time together,
Yeah.
being cute and
You were being
romantic.
real cute.
Um,
And
I read that
I'm
they've
crying.
conditioned me to like my niece. So continue.
So for me, it's really just like I find for me it's easier to date men.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I've heard people come on this podcast and talk nonsense. So anybody that beats me, that is upset, you can
Yeah,
ask
nobody
Halima for my
can
house
exactly.
address.
Nobody can.
Men are easier to train.
Ooh,
It's and for me,
bingo.
I I'm a struggling perfectionist. I like things
Mm,
to be a certain
certain
way.
way.
I like
Mm-hmm.
things to be done a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And that especially applies to the people I like in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it also cuts across to my friends in
Mm-hmm.
instances where there was a time where I used to tell my friends, you cannot hang out with this person if you're friends with me.
Mm. Mm-mm.
It's easier to get a man to be attracted to you and lure him into a relationship
Oh,
and set rules in that
it's giving
relationship
manipulation. Mhm. Continue. I mean,
and
teach us, mom.
set boundaries in that relationship. And it's easier for men to keep to those boundaries. I'm thinking it's
Mm.
the easiest way to say it. Of course, they have their brain touch.
Yeah.
But with women, honestly, I think it's just a situation where they see me like, "Ah, are we not the same? Like, what is doing this one? You think you have boundaries? Okay, me to have boundaries.
Yeah.
Like with a guy, I can be like, you know what? This is what you did to upset me.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out in most instances, the man will more likely be like, okay, I'm sorry I upset you. How can I make it better? How can we fix it? With a woman, it's like, oh, I upset you. Here's how you also upset me. And then it
Mm.
goes round and round and round, and you're just in this endless toxic cycle because then it now evolves into okay, who can be the biggest bitch, who can
Mm.
ignore the other person longer, that sort of thing. And like, oh, you think you're sexy, me, I'm sexier. And then it just becomes an unnecessary competition. So
Mm.
where you see men like basically where you see men when it comes to sports and cars and money and
Mm-hmm.
all those things is what I was now seeing in relationship with women. And me, my own is you cannot outpride me.
Mm.
If pride enters the chat,
Mm.
that's it. And so I realized it's just easier. And so where I actually have a problem with that tweet is where she denotes cuddling and all that to just being exclusive to a romantic relationship.
Yeah. So you be cuddling your friends? Is
Yeah,
that what you're trying to
I
say?
cuddle my friends, man. Like
You've not cuddled me before. What does
you've
this
not
mean?
invited me to your house cuddle. You've not say Coco come
I
and
mean,
cuddle
fair,
me.
sure.
If
No
you say
one's
Coco
cuddling.
come, I'll be over there.
Okay.
Your house is not far.
Fair, fair, fair. So I feel like women we've been conditioned to be very comfortable around each other. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, when you hear somebody's mother saying cover your body or doing this or doing that, is when a
Is
man enters the
usually when
room
a man
or when
enters the
a
room.
man lives in the same space. But women are encouraged to be naked around each other. Like if I have boil in my bum bum, I can tell my female friends to actually check and even help me press it, and I don't feel anything because it is we're just that comfortable. Yes, there's some people who are still um very sensitive about their nudity, even with babes. They hide, they turn around to change. Me, I don't send anybody, like, in this way I can change and I don't give a fuck, right? But I find that men, it's not all of them. Some of them are like, okay, yeah, they went to boarding school, but they still just don't feel comfortable being that kind, even with
I mean, even
stuff.
in the boarding school, worst case scenario, like I went to boarding school as well. So we're in girls' hostel, like we would literally be wearing our pants and running up and down the corridor. And then in boys' hostel, I think the worst they can do is like wear their boxers and singlets. Like you actually just can't see, like in boys' hostel, a guy just streaking across the corridor unless like he actually forgot his towel in the room and there's no one to help him go get it. But in girls' hostel, you're just like coming out of the bathroom naked, strolling into this
Yeah.
room. You go to this room,
And
go to that
mhm.
room,
And I
that
feel
sort of
like,
thing.
not even I feel like, nudity is a big part of sexuality, because a lot of that nakedness is what you translate into, is being comfortable in your body, is being able to share your spaces, and then for guys, they're less likely to explore without judgment. You're gay, you're this, you're that, backlash. They will even beat you. Even the ones that, like, mind you, there were people who in boarding school, in uni, they got molested, they got abused. Some of them were really into that. Some of them were even just exploring. And it's so funny because, like, same way some women, there are many women that can never date bisexual men, because they say if a man is
Mm,
bisexual, then he's automatically gay. He's taking
mm-hmm.
dick. But you're happy to post about how you're chowing pussy, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're sucking breast. But if a man, and I always say, like, I wish I could get like bi men to come and speak on this podcast, because I think out of all the LGBTQIA plus, they are the most erased.
I just want to say about what you said about bisexual men being the most
Erased.
erased.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a large part of that is, like you said, conditioning. And also when you take into consideration where we live at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
let me not even think about like the world at large. Even
Yeah.
here in Nigeria, you're more likely to suffer the 14 years
Mm-hmm.
because if you're a man,
Of course now.
because police are not
Was there
looking
a
for
cut? I
lesbian.
was not cut.
Police are not
Did they
looking for
cut us?
lesbian. So it's
Yeah.
really more
That's
like
crazy. Police are not looking for lesbian. Facts, Sha. Actual facts.
it's not like it's looking beyond like, okay, can I come out and say who I'm attracted to? You don't
Mm-hmm.
even have the confidence because first of all, you're thinking about your family. You're thinking about again, okay, my family is okay with this. Can I be this person I am in
Mm-hmm.
public? And it also depends on your circles because I know a church
Mm.
here where apparently the pastor is gay
Mm.
and like they've been keeping it under wraps.
Mm-hmm.
People still going to the church, still praising God, hallelujah, what is the Lord, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But then one of the leaders in the church, her daughter is gay.
Mm.
She doesn't come to the church anymore.
Mm-mm.
Because at first she was like, people
What
just
kind of gay?
assumed
What kind of gay
so
was? Was she
yeah.
mass
Yeah, she's
presenting?
mask. So like she was mask presenting. So at
Mm-hmm.
first people would just be like, tomboy,
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 tomboy.
that
Yeah.
sort of thing. And
Yeah.
so I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I heard,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, you said we should come and say what we
No, you can say what we heard,
and
because
so
it do be
like
happening.
I don't know what happened, but it eventually came out that oh no, so she actually married someone, quote unquote, and moved in with that person. And I think her
In
mom,
Nigeria.
yes, and her mom was like
Which
really
marriage
upset
did she
about
marry?
it. That's why I said quote unquote.
Okay.
Like they moved in together and
They started
everything.
living together. Okay.
And I think her mother was upset about it and brought it to church. And then whenever she would come to church, people started shaming her.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And so she just stopped coming to church.
Fair enough.
I'm like, okay, but your pastor is gay. Two of your pastors are gay. Right? So again,
And you don't even be having churches. There are churches abroad that they actually get split because of this sexuality. I think is it Catholic or Anglican or one of this Church of England. There's a whole faction of a church that was built out of these people accept gay people,
no,
these ones they don't. And it does affect a lot of people moving forward, really, because I just find that it's just something that, I mean, I feel like
is
gradually
your
we're coming to,
status
yeah, we're coming.
is also
Oh,
your
that's also
status.
facts.
It's
That's
also
also
your
facts.
status because women will not complain if that a man is bisexual if he's bringing the money. I know for a while here in Lagos, anybody that's upset should come and fight me in my mother's house.
Mm-hmm.
It was a huge trend for women to be marrying gay stroke bisexual men.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't complaining because these men were rich and could provide.
But I thought that
They were on the Twitter streets defending their husbands.
Oh, I mean, if they are bisexual, yeah, but if they are gay, then my own is what's even the point. I mean, I won't say what's the point because people marry based on social
Yeah,
status. They want to have
exactly.
children.
So it's a
I know that
status
there's
thing.
one where there's like the babe is a lesbian, the guy is gay, so they're tag teaming so that they can,
Teamwork.
exactly. Teamwork makes the dream work. So they'll be forming friends. I mean, there's some people that even when you even see the way they relate, it's like, oh, I know where y'all are fucking. This one is brother and sister. Well, I don't know you're deceiving, but shout out to you. Do whatever you want. Like it's not easy to come out as whatever you want to be
Here is
in
what we
in
are
Nigeria.
saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I understand that bisexual men are erased is what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
but then I just feel like it's not a reason to take offense to that tweet. I don't feel like the outrage is justified. I feel like people get upset or triggered
Mm-hmm.
by things they feel removed from,
Mm-hmm.
things that they feel like they can't participate in.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you feel like you can't participate in it? It's not like you're not doing it. You can't just do it in public. You can't do it openly.
Mm-hmm.
You can't come and tweet it.
Mm-hmm.
And what is actually stopping you from tweeting it? Fear.
Mm-hmm. So I get some of that and I understand where she's coming from. And like I said, I'm heteroromantic and stuff. I am happy to press breast. I wouldn't even say that I would say I'm more curious than like I've never dated a woman before. I've never been in love with a babe and everything. I'm open to exploring. I'm not like how a lot of men, if you say, oh, threesome with two guys, God forbid, another day. If it's two babes, I'm not, it's like whatever. It's a babe, it's a vagina. The way I draw the line, shy, is I'm not going to be chowing everything that comes around in the streets.
I'm screaming.
Fair. You get. And then, but me, I also recognize that love comes in different forms. So I have dates with my girls, and if a lot of it is not in a sexual way, although I like fine babes and stuff, even as my friends. But I'm not. My mind never goes to like, oh, I want to date a girl or oh, I want to, I don't even move to babes, to be honest. I think I'm sometimes like my brain is very heterosexual based. And some of it is like when that babe said that, some people were saying that shit was rooted in misogyny and all of that. I understand where if you say it is homophobic, I understand where they're coming from because it's just like you said how you said some people they're inelastic, but if they dissect why they're inelastic is rooted in some form of conditioning, right? Cool. It's not by force. So before some people say we are forcing you to be gay. If you are straight, you are
We are
straight.
pushing the gay
If you are gay,
agenda.
you are gay. You don't need to go and test the water. But the thing is, there are also gay men that want to see what sex with women is like. There are gay men that sleep with women. Oh, okay, cool. I mean, even Sosi Santana, I spoke about how he tried pussy and it was cool, but
It's not
like
his
you're
vibe.
allowed, like you're actually allowed to explore. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is really not for me. You don't have to force yourself to say, I am this, I am this. And I actually respect people that say, you know what, undefined, undecided, or no label, or just don't call me anything. I'm just existing in
I'm
life.
just doing my
I'm just doing my
thing.
thing. Don't force me to identify. And if you want to identify and someone says this is what they are, you should also respect that as well. Because people saying, oh, these gay people are in everything. Okay, but heterosexual
Fashion
people,
is in
they're in everything.
everything.
Everything in this world is
Everywhere
man, woman.
you
And like even
go.
sometimes, a lot of times when I'm
Like I'm
talking,
saying.
I just say man, I say woman. I don't be as inclusive as I should be.
Mm-hmm.
I should be acknowledging the different genders. I should be acknowledging people that are queer, people that are gay, people that are undecided. And even when it comes to this whole trans talk, because I feel like the world, we're gradually even moving it from homophobia to transphobia. That is what is making waves right now. I'm not even ready to enter that conversation, but I
It's
feel
not
like,
for today.
exactly, if people feel like sexuality can be fluid and people can accept that, okay, just because as a man I have a penis, I'm not attracted to men. Why can't you believe that just because somebody is in a different body, just because I have a vagina, does not mean that I identify or I feel like I'm supposed to be called a man? Of which man is something that we created to say once you have a penis, you are a man and this is what you're supposed to do. And that's why there's a whole conversation about gender roles. But let's not talk about that today. Back to the conversation. Why I understand how people say it's rooted in homophobia is because you want to enjoy the perks of, and I'm seeing it from the side of like fully lesbian women, right? So you have these some people also think that being queer is cool. Being LGBTQ is cool. And
I know that
do you
that's not
understand?
what we are talking
Exactly. So,
about.
but no, but some people do actually try this for fun. But the thing is, there's a time when most of the arguments we used to have was feminism, men versus women. When men say sexist stuff, how many times are you in education mode? How many times do you
I'm
say,
not always.
sorry,
I'm
do you
not.
get?
I'm actually not.
Exactly. How many
Not.
times do you say, actually, as a woman, I think that your position knows. There's some times when you're just gonna be like, do you get, like,
Your
shut
father
up,
is a
yeah, do you
bastard.
get, you're a bastard, misogynist, you fucking, do you understand? And so that's why I don't take a lot of things personal, because sometimes there are people who what they've seen has triggered them because you
Mm.
said something that somebody used to dump them 3 years ago, and then Twitter today is head culture. So 2 people, 4 people, 5 people don't dump. Everybody now wants to
Now
show
dump on
me
the
too.
person.
Yes, it's
And
King Kong, King Kong. So that's why I said that I understand where everybody that is angry in that conversation is coming from, because a lot of women have actually gone through that. And even when you think about women that cannot love women, it's just like you said, where you also want soft life.
but
Do
that
you
doesn't
understand?
mean that you don't. And that's another thing for me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this thing is just there's just so many layers to it, because then
Exactly.
now you're saying that it makes them feel like they're unlovable. But are you saying if you're with this person and you don't experience love for that person, or you don't feel love from that person, that's a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I'm a very, like I said, I'm a lover. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have, and it's actually been a problem for me where I don't have a middle.
Mm-hmm.
If I like you, I like you.
Mm-hmm.
You will feel all of it. If I don't like you, you will be well aware.
But see what she said. She said, I will bump coochies, I will suck breasts, but we're not cuddling, we're not watching movies together.
Well,
I
that's
have
her
people, yeah,
own
no, that's
this
her own.
thing.
I'm not saying that, everybody's same. Same way, I have some babes that are like, yeah, I will even cuddle that. I prefer cuddling because girls have soft breasts. They're this, they're that, they're this. But that's another thing. So some people, it's like you do all of those things, or having sex, you're cuddling, you're doing this, but you're basically saying, I'm not dating you. It's only men. As long as you don't have a penis, just forget anything more than this. So having that cap, a lot of it is not, especially if you can do all of those romantic things. You can have sex with somebody, but all of a sudden it's like, me, I cannot marry you. I do understand. So it's not as if it's just your natural makeup. Like, yes, you can draw your lines, but we should also be able to have discussions about why do you think that exists.
Again, another layer, communication. I believe in complete openness, and I always tell people, especially like because I'm also polyamorous, and I've
Mm-hmm.
had this conversation with people where something I've experienced being poly is that whenever I'm going into a relationship with someone, I always explain to them the situation from the beginning. Like, look, I'm attracted to you right now. I would like to pursue a relationship with you. I really like you a lot. However, a situation may arise where I also develop feelings for someone else. That does not
I'm gonna
take
punish you.
away
Mm-hmm.
from what I feel for you.
Yeah, fair
Are you
enough.
comfortable with me pursuing a relationship with someone else while maintaining a relationship with you? And people are like, yes, of course. Why not? Because
Until
people
another
think you're just
person.
spitting yarns. Until the day when I come and I'm like, yeah, so I saw this person. And they're like, oh, it's cool. And then I go on a date with this person. And then it comes, so how was your date?
Hmm.
Before you know it, it now becomes, I can be everything you need. Why
Mm-hmm.
do you need other people?
Yeah,
I can be everything. And but I don't want you
to be
to be
everything.
everything. And that's because you weren't honest from the beginning. It now becomes like I'm taking advantage of the feelings you have for me. When
Yeah.
from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I was upfront
Mm-hmm.
about my lifestyle, how I feel. And I wanted you to be upfront with me, but somewhere at the back of your mind, you either felt I was lying or you could change me. And
Or
that's
they just didn't see it
they
coming.
just
So this is, a lot of it is also in now, because I feel like if I've already fallen for somebody, we're very, we're just about to date everything. I say, oh, I may fall in love with somebody. It's like, okay, that's the game of chance. And will I now say no? You must not. I'm not going to. It's just like they say, a penny in the hand is worth three in the streets.
I know
So
that's not what are you
so
talking about?
you want to hold the one that you have in the moment, you get, and think, okay, when it comes, it's giving, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's just that I don't think that you reach the bridge. Do you understand?
And why don't you
So,
think if I've told you that this is something that could happen,
mm-hmm,
why do you choose? Maybe I'm a pessimist.
mm-hmm.
But if someone says, hey, this is worst case scenario,
Oh, mommy, that's the thing. I'll
that's
be
all
on
I'm
guard.
going
I'll
to
be waiting
focus
for that
on.
person to.
I will
Anytime you
mark
talk to
my
anybody, I'll just
calendar.
be
I will
like,
be counting
is she
down.
here yet?
Do you get?
Yeah.
Like, that's me. And I don't know. I mean, I get you want to live life all dreamy and happy, but sometimes let's be realistic about things.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't need to read between the lines. Sometimes just take people for what they
What
are
they've
saying.
said.
And is also part of the culture where, like, relationships, men, women, men, women, it come into this thing where everything is a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone wants to one up the other.
Yeah.
And that's also part of the situation.
Yeah.
you feel like, oh, women were conditioned to think, oh, you need to trap a man. Oh, you need to, like, for instance, now I can say this because I know my family is not going to listen to this
I will
podcast.
send it to your mother.
I will delete it from my phone. Does she know how to this thing? I I told my family I'm planning to move in with my partner this year, and my brother is of the opinion that if I move in with him, there'll be nothing to spur him to propose to me. I'm like, I'm not trying to spur him
To
to propose
propose
to
to
me. Like, he's like, oh, but if you move in with him, he won't see
see
any other
finish.
reason. Like, see finish. I'm like, okay. But there's nothing stopping him from seeing me finish now. We see each other almost every day of the week. We spend almost all our time together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it the sex that I'm supposed to use to trap him? He's already getting the sex.
Mm-hmm.
Is it money? He's already chopping my money. I'm
I'm
chopping his
screaming.
money. Like, what is
Alpha Coco,
like
there's space in that relationship. You're polyamorous. Me, I want to chop money too.
like what is the thing? Like, except to get pregnant, like my mother said, oh, so that means you people will now start
Mm-hmm.
making babies.
As
I'm like,
in, nah.
dear,
If I did
if
not get
if
pregnant,
making babies was in our plan, this my room that's adjacent to your own.
we would have done
Ish-
it today.
some babies would have come out of that room already.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's just this is where you feel like you need to trap someone into something or manipulate someone into something, or you need to behave a certain way, you need to condition yourself a certain way. And at the end of the day, and I know I'm speaking like idealistically, if we're living in an ideal world, I feel like a lot of people, before getting involved with someone, I mean, I know there's spur of the moment things where you see this one, you're attracted to the person, you have sex, and then see where it goes from there. But I think a lot of people really need to look into themselves and see what they're comfortable with
Mm-hmm.
before moving forward. To be honest, I like that we're having these conversations because, in as much as I don't like the attack aspect of it, like for me,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, let love lead. Let people, as long as you're not hurting anyone
Mm-hmm.
intentionally, let people live their lives. But you're right in the sense that these conversations need to be had. Like, for now, I just expanded my understanding of something being rooted in homophobia. We're not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily your
Aggressive
yeah,
or
exactly. So I
Mm-hmm.
understand that now. And this is, like I said, I'm speaking from wishing we were living in an ideal world where we could all have conversations like this.
Yeah.
And if you want to identify as bisexual but heteroromantic,
Heteroromantic.
I feel like that's completely up to you.
Yeah.
I feel
I think
like
it's okay to be honest,
it
because
is
yeah.
completely up to you.
Yeah.
And like you said, you can choose to delve into why, or you can, as long as, for me, my one thing in
Don't
life
be
is,
hurting
as long
anyone.
as you're not intentionally hurting anybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
do your thing,
I
to be
agree.
honest. But
Mm-hmm.
also, in the same vein, I feel like everyone just needs to relax, to be
To
honest.
calm down.
Not
No,
everything
I mean
is
outrage
about
culture,
you.
Sha.
Nothing,
We're
not
definitely
everything.
in we're definitely in outrage culture about a lot of things. We're very reactive, we're very buzzwordy, we're very bah. You get some people you don't read the article, you don't read anything. Hey, you said this one, you said you're mad, cancelled, you're a bastard, you get, and it's like, so sometimes I feel like yes, we've stopped giving each other grace in terms of
Yes.
learning. We're very all or nothing. And sometimes a lot of it is just online. In the real world, your father is a homophobic man. What are you doing? Have you disowned your father? Do you
Your father
understand?
might be LGBTQ.
Do you understand? Do you get
At the end
your
of
father
the
be gay, your daddy is probably gay, taking it up the ass. You know, do you get so
it's just, and
even mothers, I be hearing that all those their meetings and all those their
hey, Halima,
besties
not be letting me talk about things that I age.
that you heard.
I
Whose
went
mother
to
did you hear?
I went to a wedding, and like I was sitting at a table,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy, I was just laughing, and like, me now, my ear used to,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was just telling his friend, like, this is the first wedding he has been to where he has slept with the groom, the bride, and the bride's father.
Hmm.
I'm like, dear, can I get more of this gist,
I'm
please?
dead. The groom,
Because
the brides, and the
man,
brides. You see
came to the
all those
wedding.
chaotic TikTok, like that one that was trending where that babe said she joined one guy and the mother to have sex or something, or she fucked his mother or whatever. Things be happening.
Things are
All right.
perhaps,
Spit or swallow?
it depends.
It depends on what. Everybody just be saying it depends. It depends on waiting.
I mean, I don't like to make a mess,
Mm.
but if sometimes, like, so generally swallow,
Mm-hmm.
but like sometimes something enters your mouth and you're like, why are you so unhealthy?
Mm-hmm. Facts. I think this is becoming a very
Mm,
recurring answer here. Nobody's
mm,
trying to swallow battery acid, so
exactly.
I feel you.
People need to do
Let's close
better.
out with the tip of the week.
Tip of the week.
Sex tip. It can be
Um,
concerning the
okay.
topic or just anything in
Okay,
general.
I have a few. One.
Whoa, okay, let's take some notes.
Please,
Y'all getting this?
please, this is coming from a conversation I had with some people earlier this week. Men, please, I beg you in the name of God. If your excuse for cheating on your pregnant wife is that
Whoa.
pregnant women don't want to have sex, it's a lie.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. Pregnant women are horny as fuck. Have sex with your wife, please.
And there's extra lubrication around that time too. And no, you're not going to nick the baby's head, bro.
You're not going to
are you
touch the
entering
baby's
cervix?
head.
It's literally in the
Your
cervix.
penis is not
inside
that
the
big.
womb,
Let's get
inside
realistic.
amniotic fluid.
Let's be
please.
serious. Your penis is not that big. Secondly,
oops, I didn't say no. No.
Secondly, please get into the please get into the habit of asking your partners what they like. It's not like we need to remove shame from the bedroom.
Yes,
to be honest, I ask my partners often, what is one thing you want to try that we haven't tried yet? What is one thing that you will never do? Because sometimes you drink a little bit and then your hands start to wander. Start stretching to get some certain things somewhere, and then he's like, wait. So like,
what's the hand stretching to get? Coco, what do you want to do to that man? Stretching to get what?
Please ask your partners. Like, get into the habit of speaking about sex with your partners. Ask your partner what's something you did with the last person you dated that you really enjoyed.
I hope you all are taking notes. Remove shame from the bedroom. If I slap you, she's gone and gone. Whatever you did, your business. I'm joking.
Okay, but you can do it.
I'll now do this better before me. Competition. Exactly. She did not bring your balls. Let me gargle it.
It's not a competition. It's not a competition, ladies. If you think giving
I'm
head
the best you've ever had, I'm joking.
I improved my head game when I realized that it's actually not a competition and it's actually for my own satisfaction. If you like, come. If you like, don't come. You really don't concern me at the end of the day. I've done what I want to do.
Fair enough. Love that.
Can I plug my?
Yes. I was gonna.
Yes. So before they beat me,
plug your bullets. Plug your whistles.
I'm screaming. Did I not carry it? Yes, I did. I did carry it in Jesus' name.
Amen. What's in the bag? What's in Coco's bag? Open for a surprise, bro.
Yes.
Even me, I'm anticipating.
So I created this.
Oh, so cute.
It's the intimate deck. So it's conversations for building intimacy with your partner. Because some people are like, oh, I want to ask these questions, but I don't know what to say. Conversation is something really important to me. Like I've said before, I feel like you can talk. If you cannot talk about everything with the person in your life, that you say, oh, this is who is in my life. This is why I'm building a life with. This is why I'm building a relationship. What the fuck are you doing? So yeah, go to my page, House by Design, buy it. It's very affordable. It's only, how much am I selling it? I actually don't remember. Please go.
So I was gonna. I mean, you've already kind of done it, but yeah, plug your socials. Where can you kind of
the only socials that matter is Hearts by Design. HEARTS.
Don't look for me in my house.
For me in my house. It's Hearts by Design. Are they going to write it under?
I believe so.
HEARTSBYDESIGN. It's a wellness. It's a wellness brand. We are focused on building more mindful lifestyles, which includes your relationships. So yeah, trying to help people be kinder, more loving, and more fulfilled.
You help people be kinder, but you are saying, "Get up, shut up."
My friend will shut up.
Look at.
With love, respectfully.
She said, do as she tells you. Don't do what she's doing. I mean, which is also me too. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. This was fun. Thank you for having this conversation with me, Coco. Follow me at Hausa Chocolate. Follow the podcast at Spit or Swallow Pod. Follow us on Twitter, SOS Pod Official. Follow us on TikTok, Spit or Swallow Pod.
I like the way
Thank you guys.
Spit or
swallow. See you guys. Bye.